Hey there, it's Jessie here. Welcome to the channel. How are we doing? I am all right. Not the best I've ever felt, but I have discovered something actually about myself, which is fascinating. And it's about the poverty mindset. I've spoken about this a few times, and how determined I am to break out of the poverty mindset that I inherited, and how fucking challenging I find it. And I've been working on it for quite some years now. And I discovered something very important the other day, which is I identify with being poor. I actually made it part of my identity. Like, no wonder I'm not getting out of it. I'm proud of it on some level. Now, let me explain how I discovered this. So I was hanging out with a friend and we were doing Would You Rathers. And we do this a lot. So it's sort of like this ongoing thing. There's, you know, the classic, if you were on a desert island and you could take 3 items, what would they be? And we've embellished this. So we go back to it a lot. And he asked, okay, if you could take a certain amount of items to the island, you can choose any number you want, what would it be? And I immediately answered 100. 100 items. That felt like a good amount for me to choose somewhat, like quite a lot, but not too much. And then his response was, why not take 150? And then you've got like 50 surplus and you can get rid of the ones that you don't need or don't use. And I was very adamant and I was sticking to my 100. I was like, I don't need 150. I'll just do it with 100. And then he couldn't understand why I would limit it in that way. And I was trying to justify my answer and I had all these reasons. And he was like, but you've got the option to take 150. Like, why not? Why not take 50 more? And I was really justifying my limitation there. I was like, no, I was proud of it. I noticed. I was like, no, I can just do with 100. Thank you very much. And I will get by. He couldn't understand it. And I was like, why would I limit myself? Actually, why? Why am I so proud that I can manage on 100? And it made me realize it's because I feel like, because I didn't have everything, you know, financially growing up, there was just the message a lot, well, you can't go on that school trip because we can't afford it, or you can't do that because we can't afford it, or like you get to choose one Christmas present because we can't afford it. So there's this lack mentality sewn into me. And I carry it on to this day where I'm like, well, I can survive with very little. And the moment I realized in this conversation, I actually identify with being poor. Now, fuck, man. Anyone else? Anyone else in the poor club? You know, because we do. It's like, at least from England, there's like this working class attitude of like, yeah, the rich don't get it. They'll never understand. And it's like being in a club. It's like the poor club. Like, yeah, come on then. It's crazy. Because I think subconsciously identifying with being poor, literally like, hi, I'm Jessie, 32 years old, from England, poor. It's part of my list of what I imagine myself to be. And I think because it comes with this comradeship of like being in the poor club. Yeah, it's, you know, it's like us and them. Yeah, they just don't get it. And I have that. People in my life that have got loads of money or grew up with a lot of money and like great education, I slightly resent them because I'm like, you don't get it. You don't get the struggle. Like, for sure, they have struggles of their own. Not saying they don't, but they don't understand this struggle. And I'm proud of it. I'm like, yeah, you just don't get it. Oh my goodness. I identify with being poor. Can you believe it, guys? And I think this is my way out. Because obviously, if I'm identifying with a group that where I feel like I belong, if I break myself out of that and I'm not poor anymore, whatever the flip that means, because my friend was also saying, what amount of money do you need to not feel poor? I was like, I have no idea. Haven't really thought about it. Got quite a simplified understanding of money, which is I'm poor and therefore don't have any. I don't even know what number it would be, you know? And so what the flip? I kind of lost my train of thought there because I'm just baffled by it. I literally identify. So if I am rich, whatever that means. I really need to think about it. And I'm not talking here about like being rich and other things like love and compassion. I'm full of that shit. I'm talking like, you know, something that I can use to have a place to live and all of that. If I reach that, then obviously in many degrees, I'll feel like I won't belong. I won't belong in the group that I've always belonged in. And I think there'd also be an element of like, I don't belong in the rich club because I've not, it's new to me. So I'd feel like maybe I just don't fit in anywhere anymore. That's how strongly I've identified with it. Can you believe it? I'm just like mind blown. Anyway, so I've got to work on unpicking this identity and also work like with my mind that if I do become rich, whatever it means, that it's not a fear of not belonging. And you see how I've categorized from being in this club, it's like poor, rich, you know, and because I've got these concepts in my mind, it's like if I come out, am I going to feel like I belong there when I've always belonged here? Like I know how it works down here. We just hate on the rich. That's basically it. And yet it's everything I want to be. Oh, anyway, there we go. I'm going to leave it there. Do you identify as being poor? Do you identify with your financial status in any way? Is it part of who you understand yourself to be? If so, please let me know so I don't feel so alone. or your thoughts on this. And I'll see where it goes. But there we are. That's how it is today. Let me know your thoughts and like the video if you liked it. Have a beautiful day, beautiful week, beautiful weekend, and see you in the next video. We've got this.